Okay, welcome to Social Media Marketing. My name's Penelope Hines, and I'm the Director of the Chamber of Commerce here. The speaker for today's webinar is Logan Owens, and Logan is a 2019 graduate of Troy University and has been the office manager here at our chamber for almost 2 years. As she presents this webinar, if you have any questions for her, please type it in the chat section and we will read the questions at the end of the presentation. And before Logan begins, we do have everyone muted. Just make sure your video has stopped, and I will stop my video now and lead it in for Logan. So welcome, Logan. Thank you.
Good morning, guys. And so what today we're going to talk about is the different social media platforms and how they can each help with your business's visibility, and specifically about Facebook in some instances, since that is one of the most utilized platforms that we have. And so as a business, when using social media, what we are trying to really accomplish with every post that we do is we are hoping that we can reach a specific clientele, make an impression, and have them react to it in either some form or fashion, whether that is engaging on that post or allowing them to take action so that they use your product or service, your brand, whatever the case may be. That's kind of the goal in using social media and posting. And so to do that, we kind of have to understand that social media is no longer just a novel concept that traditional marketing once was. It's no longer that. It's not a classic advertisement that we put in the newspaper or anything like that. It's not just a Facebook profile that you are sharing with your friends and trying to connect. It is so much more than that. It is an integration of messages with technologies, images, videos, audio, conversations that people are joining constantly. Every single day, more people join Facebook. And so it's about social interactions. It's about listening to your followers. It's about engaging with them, and it is consumer driven. And so social media is the platform that people use to be heard and engaged and drive you to a consumer. So social media works because we as the human race love to be social. We love telling others about our experiences, whether that's good or bad. If you go to a restaurant and you've had a great time, most of the time you're going to post about it at least a little bit. Or, if you've had a great time with your friends, you're going to post that you were at such restaurant, things like that. And so we love to tell our friends and connect with them about different opportunities that we have. And so in this graphic here, you'll see that social media helps get messages out. When you put them on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, whatever platform you use, when you put that message out, it doesn't just go to your followers anymore or the people that you actually tell. It goes to everybody, which in actuality, it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but it's awesome in the same sense. So you can see here that, when you put that message out, you kind of get a handful of people, but a lot of times your message gets shared. And so when that message gets shared, it goes to all of these people here. So those people the ones that shared it, it goes to their friends, and then it can get shared again. So it goes to their friends. So you are reaching a whole lot more people on social media than you ever dreamed to with just traditional marketing. As like your newspaper or a bulletin board with your flyer on it, things like that. So what is the impact of social media to your brand? Utilizing social media is huge. And as I've already said, you get your message across a whole lot better with social media. And so the reason is you increase brand awareness, you can connect and engage with your customers and clientele and consumers, and then you are reaching your specific target audience so much better than you would traditional marketing. And so the reason I say that is because you're able to reach those people and specifically target them through reach and boosting and things like that we're going to talk about here in just a little bit. But before you ever get to see those impacts, I'm going to kind of go through some of the 6 steps that you really need to talk about and think about before you ever post anything on social media. So the first one is developing a goal. I know it sounds silly that every post that you have, you really need a goal for, but it's true. If you don't have one, you're kind of wasting your time. And so whatever that goal is, you need to know that before you ever get it posted. And then also identifying your audience. So you've got to know who you are selling to. And so that's super imperative. And I talked about this a little bit back when we did our graphics workshop in March. And the reason this is so important is because if you don't know who your audience is and you're just throwing a message out there, you don't know who is actually going to engage on that and who it's going to hit. And so then we'll move down to understanding your channels. And so which sites to use, which sites to don't use. And so which ones we need to understand. Why that's important is Facebook is not for everybody. Instagram's not for everybody. Twitter's not for everybody. So if you don't know which channels are important in line with your audience, going back to that, again, you're just wasting your time because you're not hitting the right people. On to developing a plan and sharing content that reaches a goal. All of these line up together. And so you can't move on to say, must do number 4 without starting at number 1. You've got to keep them somewhat in sequence. And so then if you move down to paid advertising, you need to utilize that and then also know what's working and what's not. We're going to look at some reporting in just a little bit, and you have to understand why that's super important and why to do that. And so I'm going to, as we move into, all 6 of these a little bit more in depth, I want you to think about which social media sites you actually use and utilize. Do you know why you use them? Or, do you think, oh, well, Facebook's what most people are on, that's just what we're going to go with and be fine. Think about that just a little bit as I talk about a couple of each of those. So Facebook has 2.7 billion active users each month. And so the majority of those users are, when you think about it, who likes your post and who shares them, majority of the time is women. And so women are your most engaged users, and their age ranges from about 18 to roughly 65. Those are the ones that are actually engaging on your post, clicking on things, sharing, following, looking at your post majority of the time. Now, obviously there's some men in there somewhere and, younger and older, but your biggest chunk of engagement from my research is women 18 to about 65. And so when you go in, and we're going to talk about this in just a little bit too, the boosting, you can go in and you can look at financial demographics, their marital status, what their interests are, if they have kids, places they like to go, and that will help you boost those posts and target those specific people so that you can make your social media posts a little bit more engaging. On to Instagram. I'm not going to really touch on all of these, but I'm just going to hit on these 2 specifically. But Instagram is another critical platform, and the reason is because now Facebook has bought Instagram. You can do those together. They are connected platforms. And so, yes, they're still separate, but you can manage those 2 together now, which makes it a whole lot easier to keep your platforms up and utilized and whatnot and cohesive. So they have, similar things, and you're not missing things, you're not posting things on Facebook and missing and neglecting Instagram. You can do that, at the same time now. But those followers, you've got about 28% of actual engagement of the 1.2 billion active users every month. And again, majority of those are women ages 18 to about 35. And so you've got just a little bit more of a younger demographic that is on Instagram. You don't necessarily have that older group. And so the reason behind that is because it is not as informational driven, it is creative driven. And I know that sounds weird, but you have more of your pictures and videos and just random going to the beach for the weekend kind of posts than you do the ones about specific details, for a business and things like that. And so it's a little bit more for that younger generation. And then obviously you've got Twitter. TikTok is relatively still new, but that one is one that is swiftly growing steam and has a lot more organic reach than some of these other ones. And then obviously YouTube has been around for a really, really long time, but it's still relevant. People use it. We have recorded these workshops and they are now on YouTube so that people can go back and watch them again. And that just, creates another platform for us to be utilizing. So I'm going to kind of dive into developing, planning, and sharing your content just a little bit. And so when you do this, you again have to know who your audience is. So are you a retail store that is specific for women? Do you carry men's lines? Do you have children's clothing? Are you marketing for new businesses? Like for us, we are looking for tourists all the time, and then those new businesses, we love to promote our current members and businesses. And so you kind of have to know who and what your audience is before you can ever get started. And I touched on that a second ago, but I can't stress enough how important that is. And so when you are planning and sharing your content, you've got to create content that your customer wants to consume. And so great content leads to leading, guiding, and directing potential customers through that buyer's journey. And so what that is specifically, when I say buyer's journey, is the process that buyers go through that they go through to become aware of a product. So awareness, consideration, and a decision. Every single consumer, you, I, everybody goes through this, whether you really think about it or not. When you buy something, you start to use a new service or product, you go through this. And so basically you become aware that you have a need or want something new. And then you really take it into consideration. So how much it costs, the quality of it, how long it will last, the difficulty it is to get it, all of those things. And then you make the decision whether to use that service or product, to buy it, not to buy it, whatever the case may be. You go through that buyer's journey. So we as businesses and as social media users in the business world, we have to figure out what that buyer's journey is for our consumers and to kind of push them through that to make that decision to use us. And so in that, you have to create great content that pushes them through that. And that can get a little bit difficult and a little bit boggy, but it's something that we all have to work on to do that. And so when you are creating that content, the question always comes up, what should I post? And so I'm going to kind of go through some slides to show you some ideas of creative content to use. And so the first one is to be the expert. This one would be super easy for us, like the chamber, for this instance, we had one that was, 10 social media content ideas for businesses that you could try. It's an article that the Better Business Bureau put out there that we were able to just share. Realtors, it's super easy for y'all because you can put things on, interest rates and mortgages and all of your technical details, so those are super easy. When you get more into the retail side, you become an expert about your brands and, how great they are and what they cost and the quality of your products and things like that. And so just be the expert, know what you're talking about and put it out there because your consumers need to know what that is. Be engaging on your posts. And so when I say that, make them look at them for longer than 3 seconds. And so when we look at the reporting in just a few minutes, but on every post, you are able to come down here. Sorry about that. You're able to come down here and look at the people reached. And so on this particular post for Polished Nails Small Business of the Month, we had 6,613 people reached for that specific post. And then we had 2,000 plus engagements on that. And so the engagements are, they looked at the whole post for longer than 3 seconds. They clicked through the pictures. They possibly even clicked on the link that said Polished Nails that's in blue. They did something that made them click on that post. So keep them engaged. Make it visual. Pictures and videos are a huge hit right now. They are significantly better than just random text posts. And so, it's super important. The reason is they can actually click on it, look at it, and then even share it with their friends. People share things with their friends easier and more often when it's got a a picture or a video and they're like, hey man, I want to show you this, than just random text. It's proven. And then you go into waking somebody's emotions. And so, everybody loves that. I'm thankful for a post. I'm thinking of you. Here's some encouragement. Do that occasionally. So you can also create or follow a variety content calendar. And so what that means is on Monday, I'm going to post something motivational. On Tuesday, I'm going to post something about, if say you're a restaurant, your Tasty Tuesday, your most served appetizer, whatever the case may be, have some variety in your content. And so you can follow a variety content calendar, and it kind of helps you keep that in line so you're not posting the same thing all the time. Post about your animals. It is proven that it works. People love their animals and they get passionate about it. And so if you have got a new line and you're strutting that you've got some new pants that you just got in and you're wanting to sell, have a dog or a cat or a fun animal in your picture with you and comment about them, say something cute about them. People eat it up. They love stuff like that. And then also, I know it's awkward and not always fun, but go live with your products, show off your business, show what you've just got in before you ever put it on the shelves. People love stuff like that. And so the $1 million question always comes up: how often should I post? Am I posting too much? Am I posting too little? What am I doing wrong? And so according to BizHub, the rule of thumb is 2 posts per day and no more. The reason is you are trying to increase engagement on every post that you do. And so you want your followers to see it. If they can't see it, they can't engage. And so the more posts you have, the less likely you will see the ones you actually want engagement on. I know that sounds super weird that you would, if you post 10, odds are, they'll at least see 2. According to Facebook, that's incorrect. And so the reason that is because Facebook ranks content. And so what Facebook's goal is to connect people to see the posts that they want them to see by prioritizing family first, friends, news, and then organizations over content over us, our brands, businesses. And so to make that connection, Facebook ranks content. And so the 4 things that they use to rank the content is who posted it, how people engaged with it. So that means sharing, liking, spending time on it, commenting, things like that. What kind of post it is. So is it just text? Is it a video? Is it got pictures with it? Is it a meme? What it is. And then when it was posted, what time of day, what day of the week, those kind of things. And so when you start thinking about posting, your goal should be, I need to create engagement. I need to get these people to take action on my post. And so when you're looking at that, remember how Facebook ranks it. And then that may change your thought process in actually posting it. And so the point is, the more engagement you have, the more that Facebook throws it out there. I know it's kind of not, you would think that, if you posted something before somebody else, yours would hit the news feed first. It doesn't always work that way. It's not always fair, but it doesn't always work that way. So you have to kind of think about, am I going to get enough engagement on this post for it to matter to be on my newsfeed? Or should I wait and do one that is really, chock full of important details and information, whether that's a sale or a new house on the market or whatever, should I wait and put this one when I don't have a lot of filler posts to go out as well? And so I'm kind of going to move to Facebook now to show you a couple of things. I'm going to change my sharing screen to this. Nope, wrong one. Here we are. So I'm going to move over to my sharing screen here for Facebook. And so I have a lot of pages that I manage. But today I'm just going to go into the chamber page. And what I want to really show you guys is how to get those posts scheduled on Facebook, so that you have consistent content on your pages, and why that's important. And then looking at your data from those posts, so you see what's working and what's not. And so I'm going to start with scheduling those posts. So when you come into your page, on over here where it says manage page, you've got tons of options here. And so if you come down here to publishing tools and you click that, hopefully it'll come right up for you guys. It's going to show you all of your published, let's try that one more time. It's going to show you all of your published posts, all of your scheduled posts, anything that you've had in your drafts before. Here we go. You know, expiring posts, and then even like your videos and whatnot. And so this right here shows that, yes, this morning at 7:58, I shared that we were having a marketing Zoom. And so on this, where it says reach and engagement, it shows you how many people engaged and how many people it reached. And so I'm going to come down here to our Smart Moves in Monroe County mural that we posted about the other day. We've had over 10,000 people see this. The reason is because we have had tons of people share it, tons of people comment on it. And like I said earlier, the more engagement you have, the more times Facebook throws it out there for people to see. That's the goal. You want to essentially trick Facebook into thinking that this is better than it actually might be, and to put it out there more times. And so when you come into a post and you're looking at the ones that you've already posted, you click on it, you can come over here to see how it's performing. And so you can see how many people liked it, shared it, commented, all of that good stuff. You know, you can even see the negative stuff to people that have hit it, that they don't want to see it. You know, all of those good things. Now, you can't tell who actually did it. That's kind of a little creepy. Now, I mean, if you came down here and looked at your shares and looked at your comments, you could see that, you know, but over here on this side, you really can't. So it's a great opportunity to see, okay, is my post working? Was that relevant content? Was that important for our followers to see? Or could I have left that off? And so another example is, you know, our walking tours that we have coming up. You know, we've had a ton of people reached, and so hopefully we'll get some more tourism traffic through those on the coming weeks in April. And so, you know, it's all about what you put out there. You want to create content that people want to see. And so I'm going to show you here. If you go into scheduled posts, you can see when these were scheduled, what they are, you know, and then if you need to edit them, you can click on them. You go up here to actions and you can change what you were going to say. So to create a post, you come in here, obviously, to create post. You can schedule what day you want to do it for, what time. And so if your Instagram and Facebook is linked, which I'm going to show you here in a few minutes, if it's not, I'll show you how to do that. It'll automatically go to Instagram, even if you just schedule it. So if you schedule it for next week at 12 o'clock and it comes on Facebook, it's going to go to Instagram too, if it meets the size parameters. And I talked about last week or a couple weeks ago in our graphics meeting, Instagram is very particular about what sizes they take and what they don't. And so, you know, you can show here, I'm going to just select a picture from my random desktop. And so this one is sized appropriately for Instagram, which is great. And so then you come in here and type whatever you want to, and you see that it's going to come up here on Facebook. This is what it's going to look like. And then you can also switch over to Instagram and see that as well. Something that a lot of people don't think about and do is hashtags. Hashtags are important nowadays because people can search hashtags specifically. So this one is the Hiram Becoming Hank play that's coming up to the museum. And so you can hashtag, you know, museums, plays, whatever you want to do, but keep it relevant to, Monroeville and our area, the county, so that people here and people that are visiting can look up Monroeville, and that's going to, be what comes up. And so another important thing is the location. A lot of people forget about that, but now that Facebook has the location tracking on it and those settings, it's easy for people to see, okay, we're going to be at the Monroe County Museum. I can click on that and find that super easy. And it just goes ahead and tags that. And so you see it comes up Monroe County Museum. And so in here, you click the schedule button, you select your day, click save, and you can do, it'll add to your scheduled docket, which is super important nowadays. So the next thing I'm going to kind of show you is how to link those accounts. And we'll kind of back up just a little bit. Yeah, come back in here to our chamber page. And so when you come back to manage your pages, all the way down here in settings, down over here, you have an Instagram spot. And so on this, I'm obviously already connected to it, but it says manage and connect your accounts. And so what you'll do is go in there and put your login information to your Instagram account. It's going to send you to the Instagram page where you have to basically authorize that you're the right person doing this and you have access to that account. Click the OK button and it links the two together. So it makes it super, super easy to be able to do that. And so I guess really the only other thing that I want to show you guys is just the absolute basics of boosting a post. And so what a boosted post does is just put some money behind an organic post to put it out there more often. And so you're, paying for the opportunity to Facebook to put it to more people. And so you can target people, you can target areas, things like that. So it makes it super easy to do that. And so we'll come in here to our published. Let's try that one more time. Here we go. To our published post. And so you can do this, your boosted post, with posts that you have already published or events that are coming up. And so down here with our murals, I'm going to come down here where it says boost post, and it comes up like this. And so if you want to, you can come in here and add a button to shop now, learn more. And if you do learn more, you can send it to a website or your Facebook page or, whatever that is, for people to learn more about that particular post that you have already done. One of the most important spots of boosted post is the audience. And again, you've got to know who that is to target people, but in here you can choose where you target and who you target. And so for this post, I want everybody. I want ages roughly 25, 27 to about 35, or excuse me, 65. And so then you come in here to locations and you can add further than just Monroeville. You can do areas that are, up to 50 miles. And so I'm going to add Greenville in here. I don't want Texas, but anyways, Baldwin County, for instance, or whatever. I know that's Georgia, but anyways, that just to give you an idea. And so then you come in here to the range, and again, you make that bigger, and it shows you all of the areas that you're trying to target to get you here. And so then you can come down here to interests, and because this is a mural, you can, target artists. You can target, people that are passionate about the art. You can target, tourists. You can target all kinds of things. And so you come in here to browse, and it gives you tons of lists to go through. And so when I was talking about earlier, people's demographics, that's what all this is. Where do they work? Are they married? What life events have been important to them? And then you can come into their interest and behaviors and things, because Facebook tracks all of that. And so you're able to narrow down who you're trying to target and make it more realistic. Instead of just shooting in the dark and getting everybody, you're getting specific people that you feel like will be coming to our area or buying your product, or things like that. And so when you have your audience chosen, you come down here to do your duration and budget, and your audience affects this. It also affects how much money you put behind it, whatever your budget is. We never spend this much. It's just not needed. And so depending on how much money you put behind it and how long you want to run your ad affects how many estimated people are going to see it. That's not a guarantee of there's going to be 2,000 people that see that per day. It's just an estimation of how often it'll be thrown out there on the newsfeed. And so it gets super easy after that. You put in your credit card information, boost it, and you're done. And so those are just kind of, that's really just the simplified version, I suppose, of all of social media. And if you've got any questions, I'll be happy to answer those if I can. And I'm going to put my contact information up there if y'all need anything. Like I said, I'm here to help if I can.
Logan, thank you so much. Right now, we don't appear to have any questions. If you do have any questions later after you've watched, if you want to watch it again, you can go to YouTube and watch the entire thing. We'll have it up probably later this afternoon or tomorrow morning. But do feel free to contact us at the Chamber, and Logan will be able to help you. She's the expert of social media. I can do a little posting here and there, but she knows the ins and outs of it way better than I do. So thank you again for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.